Hello, my name is Michael Fleming. I'm the CEO and founder of Compass Aim Solutions. We are a tech company that is dedicated to improving society, but we have enterprise tools, enterprise level tools, but we have apps and software and processes and systems and methods and some very unique things to help both corporations, high level corporations, and to help everyone in society. And so, what you're looking at on the screen right here in this section here are the four apps that we have out right now. Well, that are done, and but we're except for the MYLIFEQUEST, which is the one I'm getting ready to cover, is not in the app stores yet. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. And so we're going to be putting it in app stores. But the Carolines, King Streets, and My Day Will is available in your app stores right now. We have some other software that's web-based applications, but we're going to be converting those into apps as well. But for the sake of this recording, I'm going to share with you the Life Quest, the Vision Quest. And so you see the web application is behind it. That's what I'm scrolling up and down here. But this is our most popular workshop and most popular life management system, in that it can help you map out your entire life story. You're the person behind your eyes, and that's what it takes a look at. And so we're going to show you how this syncs up. And this is what it actually looks like in our live classes and workshops. It's called, sometimes we call it Vision Quest, Life Quest, but it's a life mapping system. So I'm going to show you this first, and then I'm going to show you how the apps and the tools that we have coincide with it. And so the way this works is that less than typically 35 minutes to 45 minutes, your entire life story gets mapped out in this diagram. It's, collectively the Vision Quest and Life Quest life mapping workshops and series. And the way this normally works is that it starts at the once it's filled in, it looks like a lot, but that is what makes up your entire story. And then it's the my-lifequest.com. It's where you can actually use the software for now, and the app should be following shortly behind it. And see, so life mapping, the life mapping sections down at the bottom, we talk about your family history or who raised you. Then we talk about your life story itself and the experiences that you had in your life, where you are now in your 86,400 seconds every day, where you want to be in the future, and as far as your lifetime goes and immediate goes, and the top five things that you want to accomplish directly. And then the situation on your life is on the other side. So who raised you, right? So your parents, who raised you, your guardians go here, whether that's your mother, father, the guardians raised you. And then the next section we call the five chapters of your life and your past. And so there's a little chart that we have here that breaks your age out. And then it comes back and puts the timeline above each one of what we call the five sections of your life, five chapters of your life. And then we ask you three sets of questions: where'd you live? Where'd you go to school and work? And what are some life experiences, good or bad, happy or sad? So this part right there that you just see normally takes about 5 to 7 minutes to get filled in. A lot can happen in that short time period. It's pretty powerful. And then here in the middle, we talk about the 86,400 seconds of your life, what we call the moments of your life, the right now, right? And then we ask you one question: what are the things you think about all day in your 86,400 seconds? And that goes there. At this point, we're normally between 6 and 9 or 10 minutes in the process. And so then here, we want to look at your future. We split the top section in half. We look at what you want to accomplish in your lifetime, or what we call your bucket list, and then or what is called your bucket list. And then what do you need to accomplish in the next 15 to 60 days or next 3 to 12 months goes in the bottom section. At this point, again, we're normally between 9 and 12 minutes, then having the system filled in. And then we take all those goals from the top, and we, at this point, I want to try to get my mouse here. Let me get a better pointer. Laser pointer. So at this point, we try to get you your top five goals here. Out of all your goals that you want to accomplish, what are your top five goals? And when do you like to have those goals accomplished by? What is the timeline? A timeline, a goal without a timeline is just a wish. And so the idea is that you want to get as much details on what you want to accomplish. At this point, we're between probably 10 and 13, 14 minutes. And so that's lined up there that you got that much covered. And then now we want to talk about the circumstances of your life. So we look at what's most important and what you find yourself thinking about the most. Then we look at the top four locations you spend your time in an average week. And so at this point, typically about altogether about 20 minutes, 25 minutes in, and the basic outline of your entire life is filled in on this diagram. It's pretty powerful exercise and an absolute unique way of expressing your kind of your who you are and the kind of the person inside that you are. And so once that part is done, then we try to get you to expand your sense of self to understand that yes, there's 330 plus million people in the United States, 8 billion people in the world altogether, but you are special too. The universe wanted you here. So the universe has requested your presence, is what we call it. And so the idea that we need each other, that shows up in what we call the support circle. And then we have you write a couple things in there about the people in your life, living or past, who really wanted to see you at your best. And then you're the person behind your eyes. This is what we call the alone circle. And this circle kind of represents your overall mental health. And so there's a whole thing. At this point, we're normally about, like I say, 25 to 30 minutes into the entire presentation. And then we kind of do a little tour of who you are. We start with what we call the alone list, and then we kind of move over to look at your support and try to see how that's structured. There's a few things that we talk about and how to identify that. And so, but the whole goal is that we need each other. That's hard for people to say or think or understand or believe in and collaborate and work through, but that's the approach we take. And then we look at the 5 chapters in your life. We got a very unique set of questions to do a quick assessment of who you were. Then we move up and we try to compare what the circumstances in your life to the dreams and goals and things that you have in your life. And so at this point, we're typically 35 minutes to 40 minutes max, and then allowing people to ask questions during this time period. So imagine you have this diagram just by itself, the mapping diagram, that will let you kind of figure out and configure who you are and what you are. And a lot of people, they know, of course, what they are and who they are. So they just hadn't written it down in some kind of format like this. But again, we're a tech company. So we took a digital approach to setting this system up to help people with being able to do a 1-year life plan from here. So this is what it's going to look like with the 1-year life plan. Um, Again, I'm Michael Fleming. That's my phone number and all that good stuff. Feel free to call me. And but this is the software for this life quest. And then I want to show you here, this is for the 1-year life plan. We plan out according to the seasons. There's all these little comments and things and commentary that we give you about how to think about how to navigate an entire year, how to really structure and plan out your weeks. And if it's just general, you don't have a particular day when you have to let those things get taken care of every month. And then what happens is just day to day. So we're constantly trying to help people be at their best. And then even this diagram here, what's unique about this is that this is the way this works. We say, this is you at your worst, and this is you at your best. What level would you say you're on now? Typically, people say somewhere between 2 and 5. And every now and then you may get a 6 and 7. But the idea is that to get to your best life, what do you need to be over here in this range? And that's what we want to be a complement to. It's helping everyone down here, if they feel in they're here, help slowly build themselves to being more resourceful and dynamic. So, okay, so that's the rating yourself. And then the people you know that's in your life. So whether they're good people, good partners, bad partners, but we want to be able to help you look at that aspect of your life. And again, we're big on not wanting to tell people what to do, but giving them the tools and guidance and instruction to help them tell us how to help. That's one of the primary focuses. And then, of course, what makes us all different, what makes us all unique is what bonds us. And so the idea of, how do we seek meaning and purpose and bring on these components? Who are you seeking meaning and purpose? And then the life mapping again is behind it. And then here, part of 1 to 5 year plan. And then there's some drawings that we have that we try to share with our classes and our workshops and on our tools to help people be at their best self. And so I'm going to show you here what the apps and the software. So that was the Life Quest and the Vision Quest. I want to show you what the apps and the software looks like. So this is here. Let me go ahead and do this. I'm going to restart that. And share the phone. Let's get that going. Okay, so of course it's loading. Well, the app for now, we're testing it internally anyway. So it's not as big of a deal to have the app, but I actually like it myself. So this is part of the 1-year life plan series. And as you see, as I covered through the diagram, you see these sections that represent the same thing. So of course you can input information in each one of these sections. And then here, if you swipe to the right, system taking a second to load with me. If you swipe to the right, you get to see the other sections that are incorporated into the Caroline's app. The Vision Quest app. Vision Quest, life mapping. And so each one of the components that we have here, including the rating system that I showed you earlier, if you're at your worst, at your best, and then here, if you know people and the people I know, what you do is you get to add, who is the person that's in your life. You continue adding them. You show whether they're professional or whether they are. Let me try to see if I can get that. Whether they're professional people in your life, who are their family, good or bad, and each one of the components. You get to kind of list that inventory, kind of categories of people that may be in your life that's here. And so that's from there on the Vision Quest. And then here, once you kind of fill this in, it generates what we call a life report that can be helped out with. We want to put the army of life coaches all over the country that would know how to use this system to help people evaluate their weaknesses and strengths. And so that's on the app. And here's what it looks like on the website. So again, everything's active. Got the long circle there. You got the support circle here. And so, but no, the for the most part, this is the same thing as you see that you saw earlier. It flows in the digital space. It's at my-lifequest.com. So I didn't want to make this too long, but of course, at the end of the go, everything we do is to try is to try to improve the quality of life of every single person on this planet. So I appreciate your time. Look forward to serving. Look forward to helping. Look forward to just being part of a lot of good things over the next couple of years. Thank you. Take care. This is Michael Fleming.